The Wittenberg Tigers are taking the floor ahead of game number 3 as they will host the Wilmington Quakers for the first time of the season here at Pam Evans Smith Arena. The Wittenberg Tigers coming off 2-0 road trip down to Tennessee, where they opened up their season with 2 wins over Covenant and Bob Jones in the Lon Varnell Classic. Tennessee, Wilmington entering this one 1-1 on the season after opening up their season at the Laurel Hill Tip-Off Classic, win against Mount St. Joseph, and a loss against Hanover. So the Tigers have just taken the court. We are waiting for the Quakers to arrive. 10 minutes until tip-off. And hello, folks. Welcome to the Tiger Sports Network and the TKDS Sports Network. I'm Jackson Lycap alongside my partner and colleague, Matthew Pennington. Matt, not only is this your start for the basketball season, it's also your NCAA debut.
Tell you what, the nerves are there a little bit, but I feel like once I get into the rhythm of things, I feel like I'm gonna get into the right flow, and I feel like I'm gonna feel perfectly fine. Right now the nerves are up, but I feel like once I get into a rhythm, I'm gonna be good to go.
And I'm sure that the nerves are up for these players down on the floor as well. Yes, they've played 2 games this season, but especially for the Tigers, it's the first time they're home on the 2023-24 season.
And yeah, it's first home game for this Tigers team, looking to get their first home win of the season so far, at least in the record since 1990. Undefeated against Wilmington, they're 9-0, so it's one thing that the Tigers have in their book. They've got the bragging rights in this matchup. The question is, will the Quakers get their first win in this series?
Let's take a look and let's talk about our visitors, the Wilmington Quakers. First off foremost, 1-1 so far on the season. I mentioned a win against Mount St. Joseph, a loss against Hanover to open up their season in the Laurel Hill Tip-Off Classic. This is a team that has put up a decent amount of points, but they've also allowed quite a bit of points, especially in their last game, allowing 96, 14 turnovers per game for the Quakers.
Yeah, they do outscore when it comes to points per game by half a point. They outscore Wittenberg by half a point. It's 71 to 70.5 points per game between these 2 teams, but you also mentioned that one big loss in their second game of the season. So it looks like it's, at least for the Quakers, it's a game they're going to want to have a bounce back after that big loss. 96 to 69 in their last game. They're going to want to bounce back from that one.
The Wilmington Quakers, they are led by second-year head coach Micah Mill. Micah Mill, 18-9 over his 2 years. In his first year, he led the Quakers to a 17-8 record.
And yeah, you gotta love the success for the new head coach for this Quakers team. Obviously, his second season, looking to try to repeat what he did a season ago with a winning record for this team. It's a big game for this Quakers team. It can really get, especially after that big loss to Hanover, like I mentioned, 27-point loss in that game. This is the type of game, though, that this Quakers team, they can turn it around, especially against a team they've never beaten before. That's going to give you confidence throughout the remainder of your season.
Matt, the Quakers, they're averaging 71 points per game, but they're really widespread when it comes to scoring. In fact, only one scorer averaging double digits a game. That's Matthew Doogie.
Yeah, it's really spread out between the starters and some of the bench players for this Quakers team. I mean, Doogie, he's not going to be in the starting lineup for this team, so a big impact player coming off the bench, 11 points per game so far this season. The one thing, too, about this Quakers team, 2 seniors on the entire roster. They're a very young team, but they're a good team. So you got to expect this Quakers team to continue to compete very highly throughout these next few seasons.
Matt, let's shift our focus. Let's talk about the home team, the Wittenberg Tigers. Wittenberg, they went 2-0 in the Lon Varnell Classic down in Tennessee to open up their season. 2 big wins against Covenant, 75-50, and a big win against Bob Jones, 66-58. And Matt, you get that sense that that win against Bob Jones could have been a lot more wider spread. They turned over the basketball 19 times in that one and still had an 8-point victory.
And yeah, the one stat that jumps off the page, at least to me, 36.4 from 3 so far this season are the Tigers. That's a stat they'd like to keep consistent tonight. If they can keep that stat around 36%, there's a good chance this Tigers team is going to come away victorious here.
Obviously, some news circling around the Wittenberg Tigers and Wittenberg University, the campus here. Their star player, Trey Killens, named the NCAC Player of the Week, where he had 21 points per game, 4 assists per game, and 9 rebounds per game, 1 shy of a double-double.
And yeah, you want to talk about a player that you love seeing on your team, 9 rebounds per game, 22 assists per game for the first 2 games of the season. Obviously, it's going to be tough to try to continue and keep those numbers up at that level throughout the remainder of this season. But Killens is definitely a player that if you're the Quakers, you've got to find a way to try to limit what he's able to do on the floor. If you can't, he's going to probably put up another 21 points, and he's probably going to rebound the ball 9 times as well.
The Wittenberg Tigers are led by Matt Croce. Croce, he spent and started his head coaching career 7 years at Kenyon 2003 to 2010, where he went a combined 66 and 116. Then he had a second chance at Wittenberg a few years later, and he's been the head coach ever since. He's been the head coach ever since 2016, 8th year as the Tigers head coach, 124 and 51 during his tenure as Wittenberg head coach.
I said the same about the Quakers head coach. You got to love the success. Hoping to try to continue that success tonight. Both of these coaches, they're going to want to come away with a win tonight. You want to, obviously, if you're the Quakers, move to above 500. You sit at 500 right now. And if you're the Tigers, try to stay undefeated tonight.
Matt, one underrated aspect for Wittenberg is the points off the bench. Grayson Stewart had 10 points off the bench in the second game. Cameron Harrison, he's in the starting lineup this game. He had 18 points in game number 2 as well. Wittenberg, they can score with their starters. They can score with their bench as well.
And yeah, that's one thing that both of these teams are really successful with, scoring off the bench. I mean, obviously, we talked about Doogie. He's not listed as a starter for this game, but he's the highest scorer when it comes to points per game for this Quakers team. So you got to love the bench play for both of these teams. If the bench can have an impact for both the Quakers and the Tigers, you got to expect both teams to be successful tonight.
Matt, not to mention Wittenberg, a very historical program. We talk about how historic they are for football. Their football season's done. They finished 7-3. Let's take a look at their historical numbers for men's basketball. They are the all-time leading team in NCAA Division III victories, 1,839, two-time national champions, 1961 and 1977. We talked to the Tigers. This is a very good team. They're looking to add some more victories this season to that stat line.
Yeah, and the one impressive part about that stat line is the fact that it's been over 100 years that this Tigers team has been competing in Division III. There's only one team ahead of them when it comes to win percentage. That team's only been around between 60 to 70 years. So, and it's not by much. I believe it's by 0.003% is the win percentage difference between number 1 and number 2. But it goes to show how historic this Tigers program is as a whole. Over 1,800 wins over 100 years of college basketball. That's success at its best.
Matt, let's take a look at this game. The 10th all-time matchup between Wilmington and Wittenberg in men's basketball history. Can Wilmington get their first win all-time against this Wittenberg's Tiger squad tonight?
Well, it's going to come down to one thing, and it's really a thing for both teams. You talked about one thing earlier, Jackson, the turnovers that these teams both have on the season. Right now, you take a look at the turnovers per game for the Quakers. They're averaging 14 turnovers per game on this year. Then you look over at Wittenberg's, their turnovers per game. It's right around 11.5. That's the amount of turnovers that both of these teams have per game this season. 28 for Wilmington, 23 for the Tigers. Turnovers are going to be something that both teams want to try to limit tonight, especially like you mentioned, the amount of turnovers Wittenberg had in their last game. So I think you said it was 19 total. That's going to be something that both teams want to try to improve on tonight. And if they can, whichever team does it the best, they've got their best shot at winning tonight.
It should be an incredible game. Now let's take a look at our first look of our starting lineup. We'll start with the Wilmington Quakers. They will be led out by junior forward Obed Archum, junior guard Jaden Lewis, freshman guard Ben Golan, junior forward Gavin Heimlich, and junior guard Dominic Farley. As for the Wittenberg Tigers, we will see senior forward Jeff Queen. We will see junior guard Cameron Harrison, junior guard Trey Killens, your NCAC Player of the Week, sophomore forward Eddie Brown, and last but not least, your senior forward Daniel Asher. It should be an incredible one. Fans starting to file into Pam Evans Smith Arena. Matt, the crowd is electric. You can tell it's the home opener here at Wittenberg University.
And yeah, it's one thing I also want to see in this game. You obviously want to see success for both of these teams, but you also want to see the crowd get involved. You want to see the crowd making noise. You want to see their presence in this game. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see that play a factor in this game tonight.
It should be a fun one. The Wilmington Quakers, who sit at 1-1. The Wittenberg Tigers, who sit at 2-0, making their 2023-24 home opener. With that being said, we'll take you down to the floor for all your pregame festivities, including the national anthem and the starting lineups.
We request your cooperation by supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner. Profanity, racial or sexist comments or other intimidating actions directed at officials, student athletes, coaches, or team representatives will not be tolerated or grounds for removal from the site of competition. Also, consumption or possession of alcoholic beverages is prohibited. The NCAA thanks you for your cooperation. Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a wonderful country that offers freedoms like no other. At this time, please stand and remove your hats to the playing of our national anthem.
Back here at Pam Evans Smith Arena, Jackson Lightcap alongside Matthew Pennington, excited for this one. The home opener for the Wittenberg Tigers as they will square off against the Wilmington Quakers. Matt, there's not too much distance between these two schools, Wittenberg and Wilmington. They're from two different conferences, Wilmington from the Ohio Athletic Conference Division III, and then Wittenberg from the North Coast Atlantic Conference, also Division III, but it makes for a good backyard rivalry.
And yeah, I think that's why we've seen these teams, at least since 1990, play against each other 9 different times. Obviously, Wittenberg, the team that is holding the 9-0 lead in that overall series, but goes to show that, like you said, they're very close to each other. This very well, as time goes on, if we keep seeing this matchup, could easily become a rivalry.
With that being said, we are about ready for tip-off. The Quakers of Wilmington, the Tigers of Wittenberg, 7:15 tip-off time. It doesn't get any sweeter than this. Tipping off for the Wittenberg Tigers will be Eddie Brown. He'll be going up against Gavin Heimlich. As the ball is up in the air, we're underway from Wittenberg, and Wilmington will win the inaugural toss.
Yeah, now this is a chance for Wilmington, obviously. Have not won a game against this Tigers team. It's a good way to start off with the ball.
Drives inside, and a beautiful finish there from the Quakers. And the first bucket of the game goes to Dominic Farley.
That's kind of start you want if you're this Quakers team. haven't beaten Wittenberg once in the 9 times you've played them. Got to start off early. You got to start off quick against this Tigers team.
We'll wait and see if Wilmington has a big impact and a double team on Trey Killens, the NCAC Player of the Week, averaging 21 points per game. Shot clock down to 9. He's got the ball. He's going to drive, hit hard. Ball's poked away. Ends up in Wittenberg. 2 on the shot clock. Has to get up a shot. He got it off in time, and it's off the mark. Excellent defense there from the Quakers as we're a minute gone by in the first half. Steps inside, goes to work, goes up. Count the buckets. No, never mind. Archum will be called for the offensive foul. It's a clear out. Wittenberg takes possession.
Yeah, nonetheless, is a chance for this Tigers team. Talk about the turnovers both teams have committed so far this season. Not too surprising, Killens has the ball right now, but you got to get the ball moving on the offensive side. You got to get it down the floor. Give yourself time to try to get a shot up.
Wittenberg, 19 turnovers in their previous game. They have 2 already in this one on as many possessions. And up the floor, here comes Farley. And Wilmington will settle into a 5-on-5. Farley gets inside, kicks it back out. 3 ball on the way, it's good. The big man from downtown, that's Gavin Heimlich, knocks down the trifecta, and Wittenberg trails by 5 early on.
It's a beautiful start for this Quakers team. Talking about the fact that I brought it up a few times. They've not beaten Wittenberg. 5-0 start to this game. Almost had the ball turned over right there. This Quakers team cannot like this start anymore.
Killens feeds it inside to Asher. Asher going to work. The hook shot, that one off the back iron. Rebound goes to Wilmington. And all momentum starting off with the Wilmington Quakers.
Yes, Quakers team obviously taking all momentum in this game right now. Got a chance to continue this run. It's a 5-0 run right now. Wittenberg, though, you get a feeling that eventually this offense is going to start going, so you want to get a big run going. That basket's good. Makes it now 7-0 run.
That's Jaden Lewis. Stop, pump, and lock. He'll drain it from just outside the elbow. And it's a 7-0 run for the Quakers, and we have a timeout taken by the Tigers. Timeout taken by Wittenberg, and the Quakers a touchdown to start this one. Obviously, not football, but that's what the score shows. 7-0. Wilmington on top right now of the Wittenberg Tigers. And it's been a 7-0 run. Wittenberg, 3 offensive possessions, 2 turnovers. Matt, we mentioned in our pregame, turnovers plagued the Tigers this season, especially in that last game.
Yeah, talking about the 11.5 turnovers per game for this Wittenberg team. It's another thing that I brought up for Wilmington as well. They averaged 14 turnovers per game so far this season. So one team trying to fix and focus on those issues. The other team, being Wittenberg, still struggling with those issues right now. Like I mentioned earlier, this is a picture-perfect start for this Quakers team. I also didn't like that timeout taken by the Tigers. All momentum on the opponent's side. Take a timeout, cool your minds down, get the offense back in rhythm, and now try to get first basket of the game.
Well, they will get the ball into the hands of their playmaker. That's Trey Killens. Killens averaging 21 points per game heading into this one. He's coming off a 19-point performance. 23 points in the opener. Killens goes to work, dishes it, baseline, and that shot's a bit too long. Great hustle, but the rebound will fall short. Eddie Brown can haul it in. Killens on the deep ball, knocks it away, and Wittenberg comes away with the turnover.
Talking about the great hustle right there. Killens almost playing the defensive back on that play, running down as the pass was thrown down the floor. He was the one that got the turnover.
Killens drives, and the first bucket of the game goes to Trey Killens.
Not too surprising, he's the guy they wanted to get going early in this game. You talk about player of the week last week. Got to get him involved as early as you can.
Now we're waiting to see if Wittenberg's defense can get a stop. 3, lets it fly. Won't go, and the rebound pulled in by the senior, Jeff Queen. Queen will bring it up. He'll dish this one into Killens. Killens from way downtown. Can't get it. Wide right. Killens trying to get the hot hand early on. We're 3.5 minutes gone by.
There's not any other player for this Tigers team I would want to see get the hot hand this early in the game, but you also got to think you've got some other playmakers on that offensive side. It can't only be Killens that gets this game started.
How about that? A great scoop shot. That's Gavin Heimlich, the junior forward who stands 6'10", from Jonathan Alder High School, from Plain City, Ohio, not too far from Springfield, where Wittenberg University sits. Going to work on the inside. Queen drives baseline, gets the bucket. He'll go up, he'll draw the foul. And Jeff Queen, the 6'1" senior from LaSalle High School in Cincinnati, takes a trip to the free throw line to shoot 2.
There's one thing I'm liking from this Quakers defense that we've seen so far in this game. You've obviously got explosive playmakers for the Tigers who can get underneath and they can get baskets pretty easily. That helped defense. They're double teaming underneath and in the paint. And then when the ball's kicked back out to the perimeter, it's running straight back out to the perimeter, guarding your own man. But once the offense starts getting into the paint, starts getting underneath the basket, that's when we see some help defense being played by this Quakers team. And it's showing how effective it has been so far tonight.
Jeff Queen, only 1 for 5 on free throws this season, including that miss right there. He'll nail the second one. Cuts the lead, cuts the deficit, I beg your pardon, back down to 6. The floor, Chisholm checks in for the Quakers. First substitution of the game for the Quakers. Nice ball, head fake, gets inside, goes up and draws the foul, and Carson Miles will take a trip to the free throw line for the Quakers.
It's another thing I'm liking from this Quakers team. I talked about what I liked on the defensive side. Tell you what I'm liking from the offensive side. They're fast, they're moving to the basket as fast as possible. They're taking advantage of shots given to them.
And it appears we will have our first media timeout of the day. With that being said, we'll take a break here from Pam Evans Smith Arena. Wilmington 9, Wittenberg 3, and we're paused here on the Tiger Sports Network and TKDS Sports Network as well. The Tigers offense off to a bit of a slow start to start this one. 15:49 remaining in the first half. Wilmington and the Quakers leading Wittenberg 9-3. Jackson Lightcap alongside my colleague Matthew Pennington, Kevin Fowler, and our entire production staff on hand as well. 9-3 Quakers lead coming out of the media timeout. Free throws coming up for Wilmington.
Yeah, this Quakers team haven't shot any free throws so far in this game, but 80% from the field so far in this one as opposed to 16.7% for Wittenberg. Wilmington's offense firing on all cylinders so far in this game.
Carson Miles at the free throw line. Before that miss, he was 2 for 2 on the season. That'll drop him now to 66% free throw shooter on the year. Still just 2 for 3. And the second one on the way, he'll bounce back. Leads back up to 7 for the Quakers, and Wilmington going with the full court press. Whistles will blow, and I believe there's a shot clock issue down on the floor.
I'll tell you what, I don't hate that full court press by this Quakers team. I mean, you see it with teams such as the University of Dayton. They get baskets, they start playing aggressive press man defense. When the other team is trying to inbound the basketball, trying to move the ball down the floor, it can easily cause turnovers, and that's something that Wittenberg is going to try to focus on fixing as this game goes on.
We haven't called Cameron Harrison's name so far today for the Tigers. He's got possession of the ball at the top of the key. Leaves it out at Stewart coming off the bench. He had 10 points off the bench last game, trying to feed it inside. Aaron pass, and it goes out of the baseline. Another turnover from Wittenberg. The pass was intended down low to the sophomore Dawson Scott. And now we're going to see Wittenberg's defense go to the full court press as well.
Yeah, this Quakers team got to take advantage of those turnovers. You got to get points off of your opponent turning the ball over. Chance to do it right now.
Elijah Cathy, the Donna Prep Academy grad, feeds it inside. The reverse layup is good by Travis Mitchell. And it's a 9-point lead for the Quakers. Wittenberg's offense has yet to wake up. 5 minutes gone by in this one.
Yeah, that was a beautiful pass underneath to Mitchell. Found the lane underneath the basket. Put some style on that move, too, to finish it off. Extends the lead to 9.
Doogie has it for the Tigers. Actually, I beg your pardon, that was Galik. Sends it out to the corner. Harrison launches a 3, won't go. Long rebound, fast break for the Quakers. Goes up and under, and the Quakers have a double-digit point lead with 14:40 to play in the first half.
Like I said, this Quakers team just playing very fast pace, and now we're seeing full court press come out again. I'm loving what I'm seeing right now from this Quakers team.
Trying leaving this down to the corner. Pass deflected. It's intercepted. Cathy was the one to pick it off. It was deflected there by number 24, Doogie. Speaking of Doogie, he's got the ball. Moves this one over to Kathy. Whistle blown, and an offensive foul. Second offensive foul today from the Quakers, and that could be a momentum shift, especially if Wittenberg can capitalize. And we have some substitutions as Troy Killens is back in. So is the freshman forward, Keith Rivers.
Yeah, you would hope if you're Wittenberg, that offensive foul is going to swing the momentum in your favor. The other reason it was a big foul is because three-pointer was made as well by the Quakers. So hoping that that offensive foul can get some momentum back into the hands of this Tigers team and they can really get their offense going.
Killens, top of the key, looks to drive, has his defender beat, takes it to the hole, count the bucket and one. Trey Killens, he was the NCAC Player of the Week last week for a reason. Takes it to the hole, good things happen. When you take it to the paint, he'll draw the foul, and he'll have a chance to complete the +1 and one opportunity for Wittenberg.
You talk about that offensive turnover, that offensive foul, creating the turnover, potentially giving some momentum to this Tigers team. That basket right there and the free throw being good by Killens, that should definitely give some momentum and spark some life into the Tigers.
Killens, 5 points so far in this one. He's got 5 of the 6 for the Tigers, and great defense by Wittenberg's defense. They force Rashad Chisholm out of bounds, and Wittenberg forcing a turnover. They're getting possession of the basketball back as well.
That's why that full court press works so well. It's already forced turnovers for both of these teams. It's a style of defense that can really force an opponent to make a mistake.
Here's Brown. Brown lost control of it. Fast break. Kathy goes up. Reverse layup. Too hard off the glass. And Killens had it stripped away from him for a second down low, and the ball's on the ground. We're going to have a jump ball. Killens was fighting with Matthew Doogie down low in the paint. Killens lost it for a second. Doogie won the initial battle, but Killens being tenacious. And an official jump ball, and Wittenberg will take possession with 13:36 first half. And here comes Killens as they walk it up the floor.
Yeah, you hope that that and one by Killens can spark some life into this Tigers team, trailing by 8. There's still a lot of time.
Killens from way downtown off the back iron. It's only a matter of time before he gets his unlimited range going. Killens deflects the pass, and Killens with the turnover. 4-on-3 fast break. Beautiful pass inside, the easy lay, and it's good. That time, Tyler Gallick with it. Gallick's on the board with his first bucket of the evening after the assist from Trey Killens. And a timeout taken by the Wilmington Quakers. 14-8, Wittenberg. Now they're starting to get their offense rolling here in this one. They trail by 6.
And yeah, that just goes to show why Killens is such a good player for this Tigers team. He's already got 5 points in this game. Obviously, the assist on that last play. He's the type of all-around player that you absolutely love seeing for this Tigers team. Like I said, already got 5 points. Got 2 points off of that assist right there. Obviously, you don't want your only offensive production to be off the back of Killens, but if he's able to keep up the level that he's playing right now, I don't hate it. Keep giving him the ball. Keep having him make plays for your team.
Beg your pardon, that was Amari Gatson with the bucket. 12:59 to play, 14-8, Quakers lead. And Wittenberg starting to capture the momentum. Coming out of the timeout, we'll see Quakers have possession of the ball. And they're taken out of bounds near side at the media table. Ben Golan will be the one to inbound it. It was tipped initially by Queen. They are able to get this one, squeeze it into a tight window down into the corner. Farley checks back in, coming out of the timeout. Archum has it stripped away. Taken away once again by Wittenberg, and here comes Trey Killens leading the offense. Gallick with it on the wing. And Wittenberg will reset with 13 on the shot clock. Killens drives, pulls up, stop, pop, and lock, rolls around, and it finally drops for Trey Killens. Killens with 7, and the Tigers with 10. They trail by 4.
Tell you what, Killens has gotten this Tigers team back in this game, and if you're the Quakers, you've got to find a way to score right now. Your offense starting to go a little cold, starting to not do much, turning the basketball over, I should say. got to find a way to get the offense going.
Heimlich, their leading scorers, back into it. Drives baseline. Heimlich with the assist. And the bucket goes to Ben Golan from Mason, Ohio, and Mason High School.
It's one way to get the offense going.
Wittenberg quickly down to the other end of the floor. Back up to the top to Killens. Play clock, shot clock down to 15. Try dishing this one out to Brown. It's intercepted. Taken right back again by Wittenberg, but a foul was called. We'll wait and see who the foul will go on. I believe it'll go on, yes, it will go on Wittenberg. That is Eddie Brown's first, team foul number 2. And a media timeout with 11:39 to play here in the first half. 16-10. The Tigers trail the Quakers, but we'll be back on the Tiger Sports Network and the TKDS Sports Network. Well, coming back from our previous media timeout, it was all Wilmington Quakers. Now, our second media timeout of the first half, and now Wittenberg starting to claw their way back into it. It's a 6-point deficit, but Wittenberg just committing a foul. The Quakers will retain possession.
That's one thing I talked about, at least during the pregame, that both of these teams want to try to improve on. It's the amount of turnovers they're giving up per game so far this season. Right now, the Quakers, they've turned over the ball 7 times. The Tigers, they've turned it over 5 times.
We're not even 10 minutes into this one. Going to work down in the paint. Beautiful bucket there by Golan. And Golan has the Quakers back up by 8. We have a blocking foul there on Golan. Brown tried to slip by him. And Golan just wrong place at the wrong time.
Like I said earlier, Jackson, that's one thing I'm absolutely loving about this Quakers team so far in this game. Very fast, very aggressive to the hoop, trying to get baskets as quick as they can. I'm not saying it's completely catching the Tigers off guard, but it's been working so far in this game.
Quakers will pick up their 4th foul. Here's Killens. Killens with the ISO, going to work. Gets inside, leaves it up, too hard off the glass. And the rebound stripped away. Asher had it for a second, he lost it. Down court pass and a travel. Trying getting it to Obed Archam, and Archam just cannot hang on to it. Trying to tiptoe the baseline. But it will result in a travel, and Wittenberg takes possession.
Yeah, Archam on that play just had a bit too much momentum going towards the baseline. Forced him to go more out of bounds. He decided to just drop the ball in the field of play, but travel was called.
Here's Golick. Golick down inside to Asher. Asher going to work, trying to get something. Leaves it out. 3-ball on the way. Lets it fly wide right. Wittenberg has yet to hit their first 3 here in this one. 0 for 4 from beyond the arc for the Tigers. One of the difference makers in this one, Wilmington. They've only had 1 3-pointer, but they've only shot 2 of them. Archam looks to drive. Pump fakes, puts up a shot. That one goes. Got it over Jeff Queen, 1-0, working against another 0. And it's back to a double-digit lead for the Quakers.
And it's really been the story of the game for both of these teams. You take a look at Wittenberg, 30% from the field so far in this game. The Quakers, they're 80%, now 82% from the field after that shot is good by Archam. Just goes to show how both of these teams have been playing. One team not shooting well, that helps though.
Daniel Asher, the 6'7", 225-pound senior, able to just back his way inside. It's tough to get a stop when you have a guy 6'7" down low in the paint. Good matchup though, Heimlich 6'10". Long 3, it's good. Ben Golan, he has come off the bench and he has provided some excellent points. 7 points for Ben Golan. And Wilmington favors their largest lead of the night. 3-ball on the way, and Wittenberg knocks it down. It's Jeff Queen from way downtown. And Wittenberg answers back with a 3 of their own, their first three-pointer of the night's matchup.
And that's the kind of shot you want to hit if you're the Tigers. Obviously, you've been struggling from the field so far in this game. When you've got that wide open of a shot, gives you confidence when you're able to bury it.
Golick almost had it stripped away. Forces Wilmington to reset with 10 seconds on the shot clock. Going to work good, tough defense here. Out to the wing. 3 on the way. That one's short. Offensive rebound to Wilmington. Gets inside, and Archam can't get it. Rebound goes to Brown, and here come the Tigers. Killens finds a lane. He's going to attack. Goes up through the contact. He'll nail it. And just like that, the Tigers are back within 2 scores.
That's exactly what you want to do if you're the Tigers. Not many misses so far in this game as a whole for this Quakers team. So when they can't get the basket to land, you've got to take it to the other end of the floor, and you've got to get points out of it. That's what we just saw Killens do. Cuts the deficit down to 6.
Foul there will go on Tyler Golick. And we'll see some substitutions now for the Quakers. Checking back into the game, we're seeing Matthew Doogie, the leading scorer for Wilmington. Rashad Chisholm into the game, as well as Nick Malagreca Jr. First time we've called his name tonight. Gets it down low. Pass there goes to Cathy, Elijah Cathy in the paint. Leaves it out to Malagreca. Greca going to work. Pass inside, shot, off the mark. Rebound goes to Killens. Killens controls it, here come the Tigers. They don't have numbers. Killens recognizes that, backs off. Tremendous defense down low in the paint by Wittenberg. Asher trying to back his way inside, picked up his dribble, still was able to find a way to get to the rim. He won't connect, but he'll draw the foul, and Daniel Asher is heading to the free throw line for 2 throws.
That was great awareness there on that possession there by Killens, realizing that it was a 5-on-3. You did not have numbers no matter where you would have potentially decided to try to drive in towards the paint. Realizing that, pulling back on the reins, letting his teammates get down the floor with him to make it a 5-on-5. Now we've got free throws coming up for the Tigers.
Timeout taken. The Tigers, they have trailed in this one, but remember, they were down 7-0 to start this one. They had to take a timeout, and the Wittenberg Tigers, after that timeout, they've played a pretty even, pretty steady game, but they have not been able to get that offense to the firepower that they need them to.
And yeah, it's one thing I talked about during the pregame, 36.4% from 3 so far this season were the Tigers. They're 1 of 5 from 3 so far in this game. That's one thing that, obviously, as time goes on, you would hope if you're the Tigers it's going to improve and it's going to change for the better. But it's definitely something that this Tigers team is going to want to try to improve on. Also, just their shots from the field, less than 44% from the field so far in this game. The Quakers, they sit at 66.7% from the field so far in this game. So one team obviously having a little bit of an advantage over the other. This Tigers team, they've got to slow the tempo down. They've got to find those open shots, and they've got to find shots that they know they can hit. It's only going to help them get back in this game.
Wittenberg, their offense is led by Trey Killens with 9 points so far in this one. Wilmington led by Ben Golan. He's got 7. And it's a 6-point difference between Wilmington and Wittenberg. The Wilmington Quakers are looking for their first win all time against the Wittenberg Tigers. 0-9 heading into this one. Tigers looking to stay unbeaten against Wilmington and advance to 10-0. 10th matchup all time between these two schools. First one back in 1990. And at the line shooting 2 is Daniel Asher. Asher 0 for 2 this season on free throws. That's his first make from the free throw line.
It's one thing you definitely want to see, especially if a player, obviously only 2 free throw attempts on the season, but obviously struggling. Going 2 for 2 right there, the type of improvement you want to see.
So Asher will go 2 for 2. He'll check out. And Cameron Harrison will check back in for Wittenberg. Wittenberg going with a bit of a guard-heavy lineup. They also have Dawson Scott that checks in. He's 6'5". He's the tallest player on the floor right now for the Tigers. Cathy drives. Rejected. That was Scott who got his paws on it. Harrison was able to pick it up, run it down to the other end of the floor, and it's in the possession of Queen. Wittenberg will reset with Killens. Killens finds a lane, looks to drive. Underneath to Scott. Scott goes up. He'll draw the contact. And Dawson Scott heading to the free throw line to shoot two. The 6'5 sophomore who's from Newcastle, Indiana. He went to Newcastle High School. Only a sophomore. He's provided some valuable minutes over his tenure here at Wittenberg University.
Like I said, going to talk about how good of a player Killens is. Obviously, he drew quite a few players towards him when he drove inside, realizing he had a teammate in Scott that had a little bit better of an opportunity to bury a shot. Dished it over to him. Scott draws the foul, cuts it now to a one-possession ball game.
We have seen Dawson Scott now make 4 of 5 free throws this season. Now he's 4 for 6. He'll go 1 for 2 at the line, but the Tigers are back within 3. Quick drive down to the other end, and Wilmington's offense way off the mark. Shot there by Carson Miles. And this Wilmington offense has gone ice cold. 3-ball on the way for the tie. It's good. Eddie Brown nails it from downtown. We're tied up at 23 apiece, and the Tigers have found new life. That offense cooking on the offensive side of the ball. Rejection on the other end. Cathy, second straight possession he's rejected. Killens pump fakes the 3. Drives in outside. Queen lets it fly, and it's short. That would have been for the Tigers' first lead of the night, but just a bit too strong, and Wilmington has it the other end.
Yeah, you can't expect them to be on fire for the entirety of the end of this first half, but you love that the offense is getting its rhythm going. You love that the offense is getting some momentum on their side. And Wittenberg, outside of the first few seconds of this game, they're back tied right now with the Quakers.
Jeff Queen will be called for the foul, his first, team foul number 4 for the Tigers. Wilmington 17 fouls, so the Tigers' next foul will be shooting the 1-and-1 bonus. And at the line for Wilmington, Matthew Doogie. Doogie, he's not the greatest free throw shooter. Heading to this trip, he was 2 for 7. It's only 29% from the free throw line. That'll help him out a little bit. Now 3 for 8. He's looking to get back 4 for 9 here on this one. And he's off. He'll sit 3 for 9 from the line on the season. Wilmington strikes for 1. Wittenberg a chance to take the lead here. Gives this one to Harrison. Queen at the top of the key. Looks to drive. Queen goes up. Rolls in. And Wittenberg has their first lead of the night. Jeff Queen drives and got the roll. 25-23 the score.
First lead of the night off of a 13-0 run right now for this Tigers team. So the Tigers with all the momentum, all of the offensive prowess right now in this game. Defense also looking to force a turnover here.
Yeah, like he's on the ground. Will just be able to get the ball out to Queen. Here come the Tigers. They're on a nice run of their own. And Wittenberg back on offense with 5:40 to play in the first half and their first lead of the day. Scott tries to drive baseline. He lost it. Poked out of bounds. Last touch by Dawson Scott. And Wilmington will take possession. Another turnover for Wittenberg. That is Wittenberg's 7th turnover of the game, but their first turnover in the last 5 minutes.
And yeah, in this last around 4 or 5 minutes is where we've seen this run, this 13-0 run for this Tigers team. They were trailing 23-12 with around 9:40 to go in the first half. Past 4 minutes, it's been all Tigers basketball. At least all Tigers basketball when it comes to momentum in this game.
Up the floor quickly is Archam. Euro step, and a beautiful Euro step there, and Obed Archam lays it up and in. We're tied at 25 apiece.
It's a great way to end the run.
And that'll end the nice run that Wittenberg had as we approach 5 minutes to play in the first half. Harrison dishes it out to Killens. Killens so far in this one has 9. Harrison will let one fly from the corner. It's off the mark. Wilmington a chance to retake the lead as they reset the offense with the junior forward, Obed Archam. Archam pulls up over Brown, and it's an air ball. Air ball, Wilmington tracks it down. Here's Heimlich. Heimlich looking to get himself going for the first time in over 10 minutes of this one. He's the second leading scorer for the Quakers with 5. Started off the game red hot, but has not been able to get anything going since. Scott lets one fly. Got it! I beg your pardon, that was Tyler Gallick. Oh, like from way downtown, nails it. And a dramatic shot that'll eventually fall. And Wilmington now trails by 3 over the Tigers.
I was going to say, took a little bit of time for that basket to fall, but you take what you can get, especially if it's to give your team the lead.
Drives, goes to work. Killens with the kill. Sends it to the baseline. Rejected by Trey Killens. He has one block on the season. That is now his second block. Killens sends it back, but Wilmington will retain it. Inbounds it, deep 3, and there's Golan. Golan's now into double digits. First player there from either side. He's got 10.
I'll tell you what, that was just a great inbound pass. Golan wide open, had nobody near him when it came to the Tigers. No defender in his face, easy 3-point basket.
Backs his way inside, it's Asher. Asher trying to create his own shot. Got it, count the bucket, and 1. Asher on the inside, able to body his way inside. And the foul's gonna go against Gavin Heimlich. Heimlich with the foul. That'll be his first personal. I beg your pardon, that's his second. Team foul number 8, and we have a media timeout as the Tigers have clawed their way back into this one here in the first half. 30-28, Wittenberg leading Wilmington, and we'll be back on the Tiger Sports Network, powered by TKDS Sports. .346 to play in the first half. The Tigers have clawed their way back. They've trailed by as much as 11 here in this one. Their largest lead in this one, only 3 points, but the Tigers a chance to get another 3-point lead with a and 1 free throw attempt coming up. Daniel Asher.
Yeah, like I said, you gotta love that 13-0 run that we saw this Tigers team go on. The offense as a whole for Wittenberg was kind of down. They weren't really getting much going at all when it came to the offense. But now Asher with a chance to try to extend the lead back up to 3. A 13-0 run, though, the main reason this Tigers team has gotten themselves back into it.
Daniel Asher, a perfect 3 for 3 at the free throw line today. He's got 7. Second leading scorer for the Tigers behind Trey Killens, who has 9. And here comes Wilmington down the other end of the floor. Golan, hook shot, rolls around, got it to fall. Ben Golan now, he's got 12. What an incredible first half. In fact, Ben Golan, he has not missed. 5 for 5 from the field. Perfect night so far from Ben Golan. He's got 12 here in this one. Brown leaves it out to Queen out on the wing. Double team will converge. Queen lost it. Archum with the steal. Wittenberg coughs it up. Golan down inside, goes up. That's his first miss, but he was fouled. Ben Golan heading to the free throw line to shoot 2. He'll head to the free throw line for the first time tonight. Ben Golan, he's one for, I beg your pardon, he has not attempted a free throw this season. First trip to the line for the freshman.
It's one thing you like from this Quakers team, realizing they had the numbers advantage moving down the floor. First free throw a bit too strong, so no good, but knowing that they had the numbers down the floor, they decided to pick up the tempo of the offense, not reset, go to the basket as fast as they could. Golan drew the foul. He's 0 for 1 so far in these 2 attempts.
Golan, his second shot will be no good. Wittenberg fought for the rebound, and there's a whistle blown. There will be a foul that'll go against Matthew Doogie. That'll be team foul number 9 going against Wilmington, and over the back foul. Therefore, free throws coming up, the 1-and-1 for Wittenberg.
I was going to say, kind of surprised that over the back wasn't called a little bit earlier.
Daniel Asher will head back to the free throw line. Asher a perfect 3 for 3 at the free throw line. He'll have a chance to make it 5 for 5. But he's got to make the first one to get the second one. First free throw on the way, he'll drop it in.
Like I said, Jackson, when it comes to Asher so far in this game, especially, obviously doing pretty good shooting from the free throw line, but especially when Wittenberg having the struggles on offense, you got to love getting those points when they're given to you. Asher, so far, perfect from the free throw line in this game.
He's 5 for 5, he's got 9, and the Tigers lead by 3. It's been a while since Trey Killens has had a bucket of his own. Wilmington, that defense has closed in on him. Golan looks to drive, goes up, rejected from behind, but got his own rebound. And Golan throws it up. He's got 14 here in this first half.
I'll tell you what, I talk about this Quakers team, how efficient they are on the offensive side, how quick they are on the offensive side. They also don't give up. They're getting offensive boards quite consistently in this game. And it's been helping this offense quite a bit.
Here's Trey Killens. He's gone silent from the floor. Tried getting it to Asher, and a reach-in foul there against Dominic Farley. So the foul will go against Farley. That's team foul number 10 against Wilmington. So 2 free throws coming up for Daniel Asher, and Asher has proven to be the man you do not want to send to the free throw line if you're a Quaker.
Yeah, like you mentioned, Jackson, 5 for 5 from the free throw line so far in this game. So the last person, if you're the Quakers, you want to send to the line.
And the free throw, wide left. The announcer's jinx comes into play again.
Yeah, we both kind of did it there.
Unintentional. Asher will nail the second.
I was going to say, you got the second one, though.
Asher,
6 for 7 now.
6 for 7 at the line. He's Wittenberg's leading scorer with 10. Heading into this one, he only averaged 5 points per game. So season high already now for Daniel Asher, and we still have 2:09 to play in the first half. He has been absolutely phenomenal. He's gotten 6 of those 10 points from the free throw line as well. Archam to inbound it. Golan will just give a bounce pass there to Dominic Farley. Inside to Golan, passes jump by Jeff Queen. Here's Queen, coast to coast, and easy laying off the glass by Jeff Queen. He anticipated the pass, he intercepts it, and Jeff Queen goes coast to coast.
There's another player for this Tigers team that kind of surprising he doesn't have a basket. That shot's good.
That's Archam. Oped Archam drives inside, 2-point game with $1:30 to play in the first half.
But I'm taking a look at Cameron Harrison right now. 0 points so far in this game, averaging 14 points per game for this Tigers team. Kind of surprising he hasn't really had too much impact tonight.
Outside to the corner, and Jeff Queen got the 3. Queen nails it, and Wittenberg has their largest lead of this first half. They lead by 5.
Now that makes Queen leading scorer. He's at 11.
Gets inside, there's a foul. Dominic Farley drove it baseline. Count the bucket and 1, and Dominic Farley takes a trip to the free throw line to try to complete the 3-point play with 65 seconds to play in the first.
Tell you what, if he gets this and 1 here, cut it down to 2-point game. Also, could give some momentum and give some life to this Quakers team whose offense has been struggling as of recently. They've been obviously able to respond to what Wittenberg has been able to do on their offensive side, but Farley now with a chance to make it a 2-point game. If he makes his free throw, spark some life in this Quakers team for the last 65 seconds here of the first half.
Chance to bring this one back within 2, and it's off the back iron. Rebound goes to Eddie Brown. And the final minute of the first half, a half in which Wittenberg leads by 3. Killens has not had a bucket in quite a while. He's got 9 in this one. Leaves it out to Queen. Queen underneath to Asher. Asher goes up through the contact. And 1, count the bucket. Asher heading back to the line. The big man will take his 5th trip to the free throw line today.
Tell you what, I was talking about giving some confidence and giving some momentum to this Quakers team, but Asher's now got a chance to completely keep it in the hands of the Tigers.
And Asher knocks down the free throw. 13 points for Daniel Asher here in this first half. Kathy inside. Wilmington a chance to go 2 for 1. They couldn't connect, and now here comes Wittenberg. Killens gets inside. The shifty guard gets inside, throws it up off the backboard, won't go. A bit too strong. Shot clocks. Very, very close.
They're about on par with each other. I think the Quakers just go for the final shot here.
It's exactly what they're going to do. Farley with it. Gets a screen by Queen. Farley looking for the foul. Wittenberg trap. 4 seconds. Archam launches it. Won't go. Rebound goes to Wittenberg, and that's your first half. The heave down court, but he got it off after the buzzer, and that will make it 42-36 at the intermission. With that being said, we're going to pause here on the Tiger Sports Network for the halftime. All the halftime festivities will be filmed here on the Tiger Sports Network and the TKDS Sports Network. 42-36. Wittenberg with a big lead over Wilmington as they close out that half with all the momentum. Second half coming up shortly in 15 minutes. Live from Pam Evans Smith Arena at Wittenberg University in Springfield, Ohio. halftime here at Pam Evans Smith Arena in Springfield, Ohio, Wittenberg University. Jackson Lycab alongside Matthew Pennington as the Wittenberg Tigers lead the Wilmington Quakers at the intermission 42-36. Lead scorer right now for Wittenberg is Daniel Asher with 13 points. Jeff Queen has 11. Trey Killens with 9. Wilmington, their leading scorer, and the only one over 6 points, Ben Golan with 14.
And yeah, it's been a game where, especially in that first half, you take a look at what Wittenberg was able to do. Really, really slow start to the game. 13-point run. The largest deficit Wittenberg had, they were trailing by 11. They went on that 13-point run. They got themselves back into this basketball game, and they continued some of the momentum from that run in the later stages of that first half, and that's what got them to the 42-36 scoreline that we see right now. The other thing you got to look at and take into account, I talked about it during the pregame, both of these teams got to try to limit the turnovers. Wilmington, 10 turnovers in that first half. Wittenberg, 8 turnovers in that first half. Both of these teams going to want to try to find a way to limit that and try to slow those numbers down here in the second half. Otherwise, if we keep seeing turnovers, this game can go either way.
Matt, about 5 minutes into this game, we saw Wilmington. They were shooting over 80% from the field. Wittenberg was shooting below 20% from the field. Those numbers have pretty much evened out, as you would expect as the half goes on. Wilmington, 53% from the field in the first half. Wittenberg, 54% from the field.
Yeah, at one point during this game, Wilmington was 80% from the field. Wittenberg was 30% from the field. You take a look at the numbers right now, 53.3% for Wilmington, 53.8% from the field for Wittenberg. So the numbers have evened out. It would have been tough for the Quakers to keep the 80% from the field shooting percentage, and then it would have also been tough for Wittenberg to stay 30% from the field as well. So not too surprising the numbers have evened out when it comes to the field goal percentage in this game. But when it comes down to teams that have the momentum right now, there's one team that's got it, and it's the Tigers.
Matt, whoever wins this game, what are they going to need to do in the final 20 minutes of basketball to come out as victors here at Pam Evans Smith Arena?
Well, it's like I just mentioned earlier, 10 turnovers for Wilmington, 8 turnovers for Wittenberg. Whichever team decides, hey, we don't want to turn the basketball over, they're going to have the best chance of coming away victorious tonight. If we see Wilmington stop the number of turnovers they've got and Wittenberg continue with that number, we're going to see this Quakers team claw their way back, and they're going to take the lead in this one. But if the Tigers, they limit their turnovers, the Quakers, they continue to turn the ball over, this Tigers team is going to run away with this game.
42-36, your halftime score. We're about ready to get set for the second half of basketball live from Pam Evans Smith Arena. Once again, Wittenberg 9-0 all-time against the Wilmington Quakers, looking to make it 10-0 here tonight. Wilmington looking to spoil Wittenberg's home opener. Jackson Lycab alongside Matthew Pennington, Kevin Fowler, our producer, and everyone from the TKDS Sports Network as well. Second half about ready to get going. We see Wilmington. We'll start with possession of the basketball to begin.
Yeah, and it's not just that this Wilmington team can spoil the home opener for Wittenberg, but Wittenberg 2-0 on the season. If the Quakers come away on top in this one, not only will it be the first win against Wittenberg, it'll also be giving the Tigers their first loss of the season.
Tigers, such a historical program. They are looking for their 1,840th win at the NCAA Division III level tonight. Final 20 minutes of basketball to be played, and we will start with an offensive foul. That'll go against Gavin Heimlich, as Trey Killens was the one who hit the deck. Will be a foul going against Heimlich, and Wittenberg will take over.
Yeah, Heimlich just kind of ran into the player there, knocked him down to the ground. It's going to be an easy foul, called every single time on the floor.
Gives us one to Harrison. Harrison, no points in that first half after averaging 14 points per game in the first two. They get this to Asher. Asher, mid-range jump shot, and it's a bit too strong. Rebound ripped down by Farley, and here comes Dominic Farley. Farley working his way inside, looking for a shot. He'll finally give this one off to Jaden Lewis. First time we've called his name today. He'll take a shot on the interior, won't hit it. Up the floor to Brown. Brown pump fakes, sends it out to Queen. Queen for three, and it's a little bit short. Queen 11 points, and he has been the main man from way downtown today for Wittenberg. His first three-point try to begin the second half will be way short. He'll get his own rebound, but he'll lose it off of his leg out of bounds, and Wilmington takes over. Archam to inbound it.
Yeah, I like that aggressiveness by the Tigers on that possession right there. Not getting the shot to land by Queen, but getting the offensive board. The aggressiveness being shown.
Looks to throw. Run this in. Baseline, and it's Golan. Golan, he's made a living here in this one doing that. 16 points for Ben Golan. He's only missed one time from the field. Drives baseline. Here's Killens. Leaves this one over to Harrison. Harrison to Asher. Asher looks to back his way inside. Gives it to Queen. Queen lost it. 6 on the shot clock. Asher from the free throw line won't go. And the offensive rebound goes to the Tigers. Harrison going to work. Back to Asher. Give and go to Queen. Harrison lets it fly, and that one's short. Another offensive rebound, and it was poked out of bounds by Heimlich. So Wittenberg will retain the possession for the third time.
And again, this Tigers team being super aggressive, trying to get rebounds. Eddie Brown got the first offensive rebound, then the ball goes out of bounds off of Heimlich. So the Tigers trying to keep the ball for as long as they can, try to get as many points as they can on this offense.
Queen coming off the screen, drives in, open layup, he missed it. A rare miss from Jeff Queen, the senior. Just could not get it to go, a bit too strong off the glass, and here's Archam on the other end. He'll drive inside, he'll go up and under. Daniel Asher, it's good.
Tell you what, this Quakers team starting off the way they wanted to start off this second half. 4-0 run through the first 2.5 minutes here of half number 2. Quakers can't be upset about that at all.
Killens has not scored a bucket game time in over 10 minutes. He had a quick 9 points. Asher, baseline jump shot, that one's good, and Daniel Asher's got 15. The leading scorer for the Tigers here tonight. Drives. Lewis, coast to coast. Jaden Lewis. The Quakers, no pass there for the Quakers. Just Jaden Lewis taking it straight to the hole, and good things will happen. 2-point game.
Yeah, it's just the speed and the quickness that this Quakers team is trying to bring to the offense so far throughout the majority of this game. Just fast tempo, trying to drive inside if a lane's there. It's worked quite a few times tonight.
Asher once again drives inside. Hook shot, that one short, bounced over the hoop. And the rebound goes to Golan. Here's Farley. Farley gets inside, off the backboard, it's in. And a timeout taken by the Tigers. Just like that, Wilmington on a 6-0 run of their own, and we're all knotted up at 44 with 16:34 to play in the game. It's a close one here in the home opener from Pam Evans Smith Arena. Wittenberg, their full focus on the basketball season. Boys and girls basketball, both expecting very good seasons from the Wittenberg Tigers. Their football season came to a close with a 52-24 win against Worcester on Saturday. They finished their football season 7-3, a memorable season and a good season for the Wittenberg Tigers. Also, we'll see some football players start to shift over to Wittenberg's basketball roster, including number 10, Dean Tate. He's a wide receiver for the Wittenberg Tigers. He played in the JV game before this, and you get the sense that they're just trying to warm him up so that he could possibly join the active roster pretty soon.
Yeah, he's the type of player that you'd love to see on the floor as fast as possible. Obviously, you're going to want to ease him into the game, especially with coming off of the football season. His body's definitely going to be tattered playing football. It's a collision sport for a reason. Getting him slowly eased into basketball, slowly getting him ready for the basketball season. He's going to be a player that's going to be exciting to watch.
Yeah, he even threw a touchdown pass on Saturday. He's a wide receiver who hauled in 50 catches for 577 yards and 3 touchdowns. He had 5 carries as well, and he threw a touchdown pass as Killens has this one poked away. Leaves it up to Archam. Archam, the up and under. A beautiful touch off the backboard. It's good. Wilmington back up on top for the first time here in the second half.
Tell you what, this is a beautiful start to the second half. First 4 minutes down. We've got 16 left to go. 10-2 run right now for this Quakers offense. Couldn't have asked for a better start to the second half.
Inside, Asher going to work. Asher goes up off the back iron, and it rolled out, and a foul going against the Tigers. It'll go on Eddie Brown. And Brown will pick up his second. Team foul number 1. That'll take us to a media timeout. Media timeout here at Pam Evans Smith Arena. This one a close one, 46-44. The Quakers on top of the Tigers. We'll be back here on the Tiger Sports Network, powered by TKDS Sports.
To rise above the competition, generations of Wittenberg Tigers have been encouraged to reach down deep for something more. More than skill or strength, more than precision or power, they were asked to do something extra, something beyond themselves. They needed to tiger up. Coined by a Hall of Fame coach and chanted repeatedly for decades since, Tiger Up serves as the rallying cry for championship teams and All-American performances. It calls us to greater determination and an unwavering spirit. To wear the red and white of Wittenberg is an honor, a tradition of excellence to uphold. So is the opportunity to tiger up. It's more than a phrase, it's a legacy that binds us, uniting us in victorious celebration and spurring us on to greater heights, even in defeat. Tiger Up echoes across campus, bridging the past and the present as we stand together as Wittenberg Tigers. With the trademark now officially ours, we embrace a new era where the roar of the Tigers resounds loud.
15:47 to play, and we are underway coming out of our first media timeout here in the second half. Wilmington with a 2-point lead and possession of the basketball. Farley has it at the midcourt logo. Moves this one down low. Here's Chisholm. Chisholm gets inside. He'll draw the foul. A blocking foul that'll go against Killens, and Chisholm will head to the free throw line to shoot 2.
I'll tell you what, we are seeing a very similar start here to the second half that we saw in the first half. In the first half, we saw this Quakers team pretty much shooting lights out, not really anything that they could do wrong on the offensive side. And the Tigers of Wittenberg, they weren't really able to get anything going. We're seeing a similar tale right now to the start of the second half. It's been all Quakers basketball, 10 points for the Quakers, 2 points for the Tigers. For the Tigers, you're just hoping that, as of right now, you're hoping that the story can stay the same. The second half of this second half will go your way.
Chisholm will go 1 for 2 at the free throw line. Gives him his first singular point of the night. Killens has it. Killens off the screen, drives inside. He lost possession of the basketball, but it was poked away. Rashad Chisholm from Akron, Ohio, the junior guard, is the one to send it back, and Wittenberg will retain possession. Leaves this one under. Killens lost it. Errant pass. Golick tried to squeeze it into a tight window. Killens just could not come away with it. It's a Wittenberg turnover. Wittenberg has now turned over the basketball 10 times in this one. Wilmington 11 times. This is a Wittenberg Tigers squad that's coming off a 19 turnover performance. Save there by Stewery into the hands of Killens, and here comes Trey Killens up the floor. Tigers back on offense. They trail by 3. Still plenty of time to go in this one. Golick leaves it to Killens. Killens drives, he'll draw the foul. And 2 free throws coming up for Trey Killens. That foul will go on Jaden Lewis, and Trey Killens heading to the free throw line. He's been ice cold after he started off quickly with 9 points in this one. Maybe this will be able to get him going from the field as well.
Yeah, it's a player that in the first half really got the offense going for this Tigers team. First free throw is good. It's not that you only want him, it's not that you only want Killens to be the player to get the offense back in rhythm and the offense going here in the second half for the Tigers, but you got to have somebody do it. And Killens right now looking to try to be the man to do it for the second straight half in this game.
Trey Killens will knock the first free throw down. He's got 10. Third consecutive game. First 3 games of the season for Killens where he's scored double-digit amount of points. Now he's at 11. Ties the second leading scorer for Wittenberg with Jeff Queen. Both of them trail Daniel Asher, who's got 15. 1 point game. Archam drives. Archam gets to the hole again. And Obed Archam starting to open up his game here in the second half. He's got 10.
And yeah, this Quakers team, like I said earlier, kind of doing what they did in the first half. Just really nothing can go wrong for this team to start off the second half of play. The Tigers got to find a way to get the momentum back on their side.
Golick pump fakes the three. He'll look to drive, steps inside, sends it out to Brown. He'll let it fly, rattles it home. Eddie Brown for three. Brown's got 6, and we're knotted up at 49 apiece inside 14 minutes to play.
That shot right there by Brown might get the life back into this offense. If you're the Tigers, you're at least hoping that's the case. And the defense got to step up big here.
Eddie Brown, perfect from beyond the arc, 2 for 2 today. And both of those shots, if I'm not mistaken, shots to tie up the game. Archam drives. I beg your pardon, that was not Archam, that was Matthew Doogie, and Matthew Doogie gets to the rim. Daniel Asher not on the floor right now for Wittenberg, and they are certainly taking advantage of that. And Tyler Galuch. Galuch ties this one up, 51 apiece. Inside 13 minutes to play, and Wilmington's got possession of the ball.
Yeah, that puts Galuch now at 7 points so far in this game. A lot of different players right now for this Tigers team starting to get the offense going. Got 5 points plus split between 5 players. 3 of those players above 10 in the double digits.
Galuch with the rebound and a foul as well. Foul is called, 12:32 to play. First half. Or second half, I beg your pardon. As a foul will go on Travis Mitchell, his first, team foul number 3 for Wilmington with 12:32 to play in the second half. And Eddie Brown will go to inbound it for the Tigers. Get this one to the guard, Trey Killens. Killens, the NCAC player of the week. That was announced today. Galuch drives, bodies his way inside, goes up. Can't get it to go, a bit short for Tyler Galuch. Galuch in this one has 7, could not get 9. Heimlich for 3. Heimlich off the mark. Kevin Heimlich had 5 quick points for the Wilmington Quakers in this one. Since then, he has been ice cold. It's been over 24 minutes of game time since Heimlich has nailed a shot. He's also been in some foul trouble with 3. Cathy gets inside, can't get it. Galuch on the defense. Killens pulls it down. Wittenberg has numbers. They're going to attack. Brown on the wing. 3, it's good! Eddie Brown, three-pointer drops in, and the Tigers up by 3.
Tell you what, this is around the time where we started the momentum. We saw the momentum in the first half shift over to the Tigers. Another big player, Daniel Asher, checking back in for the Tigers. He's got 15, he's their leading scorer. He's the type of player that's gonna have some impact too.
Eddie Brown, back-to-back three-pointers for the Tigers. He's got 9, he's perfect from beyond the arc, and what a day Eddie Brown is having. 9 points, 7 rebounds as well. He has had an absolutely phenomenal night on the floor, and we have a timeout taken, 11:34 to play. Tigers up by 3. You're watching on the Tiger Sports Network, powered by TKDS Sports.
I don't need giant stadiums. I don't need to be lectured. The world telling me how it's all falling apart before I've even gotten started. What I need is my own pen. I need mentors, advisors, and brilliant minds who put just as much into my success as I did. I need more than a university. I need a partner who believes that a higher education takes all of us.
11:34 to play here in the second half. 54-51, Wittenberg on top of Wilmington. Eddie Brown is stepping up now for the Tigers, especially from beyond the arc, and Jeff Queen pokes it away on the defensive side. Here comes Wittenberg after the Wilmington turnover. Galuch on the wing. To Brown. Over to Killens. Double team converges. One of the reasons why Killens has gone ice cold, Wilmington's, they've been doubling him. To the free throw line, and Daniel Asher drops it in. Tigers up by 5.
Tell you what, Jackson, I talked about Asher being back on the floor. He's been the impact player so far today. Increases his point total to 17 with that basket.
17 points for Daniel Asher. He is the leading scorer for the Tigers. And Matt, heading into this one, Daniel Asher only averaged 5 points per game. He had 10 points through the first 2 games of the season. He's got 17 here tonight. And at the free throw line, here's Dominic Farley. Farley, he's 0 for 1 at the free throw line. He'll miss the first one.
Tell you what, though, you talk about Asher only having 10 points in the first 2 games of the season. You got to like that he's been able to step up big in this one, especially I talked about Cameron Harrison having 14 points per game so far this season. He still sits at 0. You got to like that Asher stepping up, though, and filling his shoes so far tonight.
Farley will hit the second one. 4-point game with 10.5 minutes to play. Killens. To Asher, now to Queen. Asher on the interior, going to work against Heimlich. Puts up a shot, that one's short. Heimlich pulls down the miss. Heimlich pulls down his 3rd rebound of the game. It's a turnover from Wilmington. Wittenberg gives it right back, and a foul on Trey Killens. Killens will pick up his 3rd personal foul with 10:16 to play here in the game. So now decision time, whether or not Trey Killens will head to the bench for a few minutes.
If I were Wittenberg right now, I would wait a little bit to see if he's going to keep playing aggressive defense.
That's exactly what they're going to do. No subs. Now we're going to see Cameron Harrison head to the scorer's table. We'll wait and see if that is for Trey Killens on the next dead ball. Pass underneath, Golan. And Golan checks back into the game. He's got 18 for Wilmington. And it's back to a 2-point game. And we're inside the final 10 minutes of this game. 56-54, it's all going to come down to the wire, and here's Trey Killens with the ball. Looking for a screen, he got it. Killens going to work, floater, a bit too strong. Rebound goes to Brown, sends it out to Galuch. And Galuch will be called for the travel. Wittenberg fans, not a fan of that, but Galuch calling for the travel. It's another turnover, and Wilmington will take possession.
And Cameron Harrison did check in for Trey Killens. Killens currently talking with his head coach, probably wondering why he's being taken out of the game, seeing as how he only has 3 fouls. But Killens is not the player you want to see being in foul trouble for this Tigers team, just because of how much impact he has on both the offense and defensive sides.
Outside 3, it's good. Ben Golan, he has been on a different level here tonight. Golan knocks it down again. And Golan, how about this? 21 for Ben Golan. He has 1 miss from the field. He has been on fire. 9 for 10 from the field, 3 for 3 from beyond the arc. Harrison to Stewary. Stewary. Back to Harrison to the corner. Here's Brown to answer back. Brown knocks it down. Eddie Brown, his 4th trifecta of the game falls. Tigers back up by 2.
I'll tell you what, if you're this Quakers team, obviously you don't want your only offensive production being from Golan. With how good he's been, got to keep Golan involved in this offense.
We're going to have a foul called on the other end of the floor, and I believe this will be on Chisholm. Chisholm, his 3rd, team foul number 4. Both teams now sitting with 4 team fouls with 8:37 left to play in this one. As Brown will go to inbound it, as the Tigers will look to add to their lead with about 8.5 minutes to play in this one.
I'll tell you what, Brown got lucky right there after that play was whistled dead. He ended up shoving a Quaker. He's lucky he didn't get called for a foul on that one.
Harrison dribbling through traffic to Asher. Asher going to work against Heimlich. Asher goes up, he'll draw the foul, and Gavin Heimlich picks up his 4th. Heimlich, remember, he had the quick 5 points of the game for the Quakers. And I believe Heimlich just got teed up as well. Gavin Heimlich was not happy after that foul. As both teams will head to the bench, he had the quick 5 points to begin this one. But Daniel Asher has gotten the best from Gavin Heimlich down low. 4th foul now on Heimlich. We have a timeout on the floor, and Coach Micah Mills not happy now for the Quakers as well.
And yeah, Heimlich was definitely expressing his displeasure for that foul being called. He even acted like he was kind of leaning in, kind of showing the ref what happened or what he thought happened on that play. I think that's where he got teed up.
I believe that they are going to the scorer's table now to just double check and make sure it is reasonable for a technical foul. Matt, what did you see? Do you think that should be a technical foul?
Personally, I don't think that it should be a tech, because all Heimlich was doing was voicing his displeasure with the ref. He didn't do anything too crazy. Like I said, he kind of leaned in, kind of acting like he was doing what he felt had happened on that play, leaning in towards the ref. I don't think there was any contact between the two of them.
And I will say this, that could be the one thing that makes it a no-brainer, is if there is contact between the two. If you touch an official, 9 times out of 10, that's a technical foul.
It didn't, like I said, it didn't look like there was contact between Heimlich and the official, but if there was, like you said, that is definitely cause for a technical foul. But that's another thing that you brought up, Jackson. Daniel Asher so far, 7 for 8 from the free throw line so far in this game. He has been so efficient drawing fouls underneath. He's been so efficient getting to the free throw line. And it's one of the reasons he's the leading scorer right now for this Tigers team. His efficiency in drawing fouls, his efficiency in getting to the free throw line. 7 for 8, 17 total points. It's one thing that has had a huge impact in this game. Daniel Asher underneath.
Gavin Heimlich has just head back to the locker room for Wilmington, so we're keeping an eye on that to see what all transpires. Now he's back out at the bench, but he is behind the bench. Walking over to the scorer's table, now so he's back with the team. He went to the locker room for a brief second. I believe the officials on the floor are still trying to figure out what is going on and what the verdict will be for Gavin Heimlich, whether it will be a technical foul or not. There was one that was called on the floor, but the officials have had a prolonged conversation with the media table. And now the coaches will be informed the decision as well. Heimlich picked up his 4th personal foul. I believe this will be the verdict on Gavin Heimlich on whether it's a technical foul or not, and whether he'll be able to return to this game or not.
Yeah, it's got to be why it's taking so long, them determining whether or not it is, or there should be a technical foul called against Heimlich. But like I said, he did lean in towards the ref. Obviously was voicing his displeasure as well after his 4th foul was called on the floor. And then obviously him voicing his displeasure, kind of leaning towards the ref. Like I said, I don't know if he made contact with the referee or not. I don't think he did. But if it was just him voicing his displeasure, no contact with the official, I don't see a reason for a technical foul to be called. But like you said, Jackson, if there was contact between Heimlich and an official, there is cause for a technical foul.
And not to mention what he said. Obviously, we don't have supersonic hearing. We can't hear all the way up in the crow's nest.
Especially with the headsets we got on, too.
I hear you loud and clear, but I don't hear anything on the floor.
I can't either. I can just hear the music playing right now on the speakers.
Maybe our cameraman Daniel down there, baseline camera on that side of the floor, maybe he picked it up. Wittenberg student, so I'm sure he'd come up and might show a little bit of bias to the Tigers, but nonetheless, that's what we're here for, I guess, on the Tiger Sports Network. 8:15 to play.
You try to hide it. You got to try to hide it.
So heading to the free throw line. These will not be technical free throws. Daniel Asher will head to the free throw line. As the first one for Asher is good. Heimlich remains near the team. He's not sitting on the bench. He's standing up drinking behind the bench. And I don't think, yes, the technical foul was waved off, so Heimlich got a bit of a break. Fourth foul against Gavin Heimlich. 1 for 2 at the free throw line for Daniel Asher. He's got 18, no technical free throws, as that one was waved off, poked away, and it will remain Wilmington basketball.
And yeah, it also, talking about him being at 4 fouls, Heimlich, makes sense that he's not on the floor right now, especially with his size and how close this game is going into the final few minutes of it. That's when you'd like to see him back out on the floor.
Out to the wing, Doogie with it. Doogie looks the body his way inside, and it's a jump ball. He was stood up and stuffed by Daniel Asher, and Asher's terrific night continues.
Talk about how many points Asher has, but his size goes to show right there why he's such a phenomenal player for this Tigers team. He's got that size underneath, take the basketball away. He's had a lot of impact tonight.
Timeout. It's immediate timeout. 7:53 to play. Tigers up by 3. And we'll be back with the finale for this one here on the TKDS Sports Network and Tigers Sports Network as well.
I'm thrilled to be at Wittenberg at this time and place, as the university is perfectly positioned to welcome an esports program like none other. Wittenberg's impressive athletics tradition and Tiger Up spirit, mixed with a strong commitment to student success, will allow for a program that competes at the highest level while also caring deeply for each player, both personally and professionally. Esports at Wittenberg will not only be about gaming, but will also be about changing the game. Together, we will build a supportive, dynamic community as we bring our own distinct light to the global phenomenon of esports right here in Springfield, Ohio. It's time to Tiger Up. Let's go.
Well, Wittenberg University is excited to announce a new partnership with the TKDS Sports Network. Once again, you can watch all the games live here on the Tiger Sports Network. But if you want to upgrade and watch it on Roku Fire Stick TV, visit TKDS Sports, all of their social media pages. You can also watch the game live for free on any TKDS Sports Network social media page. And also, listen on radio. Download the TKDS Sports Network radio app from the Google Play Store to listen to live audio feed of the game as well. Inside 8 minutes to play, the Tigers up by 3. They have possession of the ball. It's been a close one back and forth. The largest lead from either side in this one was Wilmington by 11. They had that lead 2 times in the first 10 minutes of the game, as Stewart is stuffed by Golan, but a foul was called. We'll wait and see if it's a shooting foul or not. Stewart certainly thought it was a foul, shooting foul. It will not be a shooting foul, but we will still see free throws because the 1-and-1. 17 foul going against the Quakers.
And it's one thing we've seen at least Wilmington really improve on and kind of fix here in the second half. 10 turnovers in that first half. They only have 3 right now here in the second half, and they've been able to claw their way back into this one. Wittenberg, on the other hand, they had 8 in the first half. They sit at 14 right now, so they're at 6 total turnovers here in the second half.
Grayson Story misses the free throw. He had 10 points coming off the bench in their last game, the victory against Bob Jones. None here tonight. As Farley gets inside, and the touch land back to a 1-point game, but we'll wait and see how Wittenberg can answer. Eddie Brown, he's had the hot hand, especially from beyond the arc. 12 points, all of them from beyond the arc. Asher backs inside. Hook shot won't go. It's short. Bit short there from Daniel Asher. A rare miss for Asher here in this one. As Farley has it. Wilmington a chance to take the lead. Archam for 3. Lets it fly. It's good. And the Tigers trail by 2.
Tell you what, the Quakers doing exactly what they needed to do with that possession. Got the ball back into the hands of the offense. Now they hold on to a 2-point lead.
Here's Killens. Gets a screen from Asher. Outside Stewart. Back to Asher, wanted the shot, pump fakes, steps inside, he's got to get rid of it. Outside three, Stewart, bit too strong. Asher can't haul in the miss. The diving attempt, Queen comes up with it. Wittenberg basketball, they get new life here, and a new 20 seconds on the shot clock. Killens going to work, puts up a shot on the interior. Killens gets it to fall, his first field goal of the second half.
Yeah, that's what you wanted to see on that possession. You had a second chance to try to get some points out of your possession after the ball went towards the corner. You were able to have that chance, that second life, that second opportunity, and the Tigers were able to capitalize on it and tie this game up.
Tough shot from Killens. He has his first shot from the field here in the second half. 13 for Killens. Puts up a shot on the inside, won't get it to go. It was Jaden Lewis who took the shot. It was a bit too short. Great defense there by Grayson Stewart. We're coming down to 5.5 minutes to play in this one. Wittenberg, Wilmington tied in the 10th all-time matchup between these two schools. Queen lost control of it, and it goes out of bounds. Queen trying to plead his case, saying it was last touched by Archam, but Queen was the last one to touch it. And substitutions checking in for both sides. Wittenberg will have Dawson Scott checking back in, same with Cameron Harrison. And it appears everyone else will stay the same for Wittenberg. Brown, Queen, and Killens, the other three out there for the Tigers. Carson Miles in for the Quakers. He tried giving a pass to Golan, and Jeff Queen jumps in front of it. Wittenberg a chance to take the lead as we close in on 5 minutes remaining in this one. Queen going to work. Back out to Brown to reset the offense with Killens. Killens from way downtown gets it! Trey Killens, 5 feet from beyond the arc, drains the trifecta. Killens has 16, and the Tigers have a 3-point lead.
There's a reason he was NCAC Player of the Week last week. A phenomenal shot there by Killens. Gets the momentum fully in the hands of the Tigers. Another big player stepping onto the floor for Wilmington. Heimlich, back out onto the floor. He's got 4 fouls, something to keep an eye out for, but he is back on the floor for the Quakers.
Galuch, he's in now for the Wittenberg Tigers as well. Heimlich sends this one to Kathy. Golan puts up a shot. Golan bodies through the contact. Great defense by Queen, just better offense. And it's a 1-point game. Going back to that long, deep 3 by Trey Killens. He's tried it from that range multiple times tonight. First one he's hit from beyond, 5 feet beyond the 3-point line. Ball poked away. Wittenberg able to go back court. They'll pick it back up as we close in on 4 minutes. And a blocking foul there will go against Kathy, and we'll have a 1-and-1 coming up for Tyler Galuch.
How about the game Ben Golan has had so far in this one? Putting the team on his back. His team's got a total of 64 points. He's got 23 of them. Archam, obviously, 13 points, the only other double-digit scorer right now for this Quakers team. But Golan putting the team on his back right now, trying everything he can to will his Quakers team to their first ever win against the Tigers.
Galuch, his first free throw on the way, won't go. This is a kid that averaged just under 21 points per game last season at Springfield Catholic Central and led them very, very deep in the postseason as well. True freshman for the Wittenberg Tigers. And he has provided some valuable minutes off the bench, but he'll miss that first free throw on the 1-on-1 situation, and the Quakers will have a chance to take the lead. There's Golan. Golan drives, gets inside. Quakers on top by 1. Inside 4 minutes. Closing in on crunch time, Matt.
25 now for Golan. Like I said, putting the team on his back. 25 of his team's 66 points. He's willing his Quakers team to a lead right now.
Jeff Queen. Jeff Queen. Pump fakes to the outside, drives inside. And Jeff Queen now, that's his terrific night. He's got 13. Wittenberg has 4 players in double-digit amount of points. And a whistle blown on the interior. Wilmington has 2 players in the double-digit amount of points. Golan with 25. Archam has 13. And Tyler Galuch will pick up his third personal foul, team foul number 7, both sides in the bonus. 3:23 left to play in this one, 67-66. The Tigers with a 1-point advantage, but free throws coming up when we return for the Quakers. A chance to tie or take the lead. We'll be back with the finale here on the Tiger Sports Network and the TKDS Sports Network as well. Back here at Pam Evans Smith Arena, crunch time approaching, 67-66. The Tigers on top of the Quakers, but the Quakers, they have a chance to tie or take the lead. Hello, folks, if you're just joining us on the Tiger Sports Network or the TKDS Sports Network, wherever you're watching. Jackson Lightcap alongside Matthew Pennington, Kevin Fowler, our producer, everyone from TKDS Sports, including all of our friendly cameramen down on the floor as well. We got a thriller here in the home opener for the Wittenberg Tigers.
Yeah, it's been a close game through and through. The biggest lead for either team, an 11-point lead for the Quakers. That was almost immediately taken away by a 13-0 run by the Tigers. 1-point lead right now for the Tigers. Gets cut down to 0. We're tied up.
Carson Miles will knock the first one down. Miles 1 for 2. I beg your pardon, 2 for 3 now at the free throw line. And he'll hit the second one as well. Another lead change in this one. We've had quite a bit of lead changes here in this second half. And Wilmington's going to go back to the full court press, something that they ran quite a bit in that first half. Killens will walk the ball at the floor. Brown, he's had the hot hand as of lately for Wittenberg. Killens, he's got 16 and the ball. Killens slips a defender, goes inside, throws up a shot, he's fouled. And Trey Killens will be taking a trip to the free throw line with a chance to tie or take the lead for the Tigers.
Yeah, and this is what we're going to see throughout the remainder of these last 3:07 left to play in this game. We're going to see what both of these teams are made of. Close game between both of these two opponents, the Tigers and the Quakers. We're going to see what both of these teams are made of in this last 3 minutes. Like you mentioned, it's crunch time. The last few minutes are going to decide this game. Whichever team plays the hardest through these last 3, they're going to be the team victorious tonight.
Killens at the free throw line. Killens so far 3 for 3 at the free throw line. He's got 2 shots. 9th foul against Wilmington. So the next foul will put Wittenberg in the double bonus. As Killens knocks the first one in, he's got 17. Second one on the way, it's short. We're tied and knotted up at 68. Matt, we're in crunch time. Final 3 minutes of the game. Wilmington looking for their first win in school and program history against the Tigers. Tigers looking to remain unbeaten on the year, and Wilmington turns over the basketball. Errant pass, and Killens able to scoop it up off the floor. Killens drives the floater, that one won't go. Killens tied up with Golan. Golan strips it away, and it's back the other end of the floor. Here comes Wilmington. Gets inside, leaves it out to Archam. Archam's gonna pull up deep 3, and it's a bit too strong. Rebound goes to Wilmington, drives, Archam lost it. Picked up by Harrison, up ahead to Killens, and ball will go out of bounds against Wittenberg. Killens was trying to say the pass was touched. It certainly looked like Farley got his paws on it, but the officials see otherwise. Turnover against Wittenberg, and Wilmington will take possession with 2:24 to play.
Yeah, it was a great defensive play there by Killens to get the ball back into the hands of the Tigers offense. Then the pass down the floor. Killens thought it was off of a Quaker, decided to not go after it. It's out of bounds on the Tigers, though. The Quakers respond.
Farley drives inside. We approach 2 minutes at 70-68. Things coming down to the wire here in the home opener at Wittenberg University. Harrison out on the wing. No points for him so far in this one. Leaves it inside to Asher, the leading scorer for Wittenberg, and a whistle blown. Foul will go on Kathy, and now we will see Asher head to the free throw line to shoot 2. Wittenberg now officially in the double bonus. Asher, the leading scorer for the Tigers with 18. He's 8 for 10 at the free throw line. Heading back there for the 6th time today.
Yeah, got a chance to be the first player for the Tigers at 20 points.
And the first one rattles home.
Not just that, but like you mentioned, Jackson now 9 for 11 from the free throw line so far in this game. Feels like Daniel Asher has pretty much done it all for the Tigers tonight.
Asher, the second free throw goes as well. He'll check out, Galuch checks in. Galuch, a terrific defensive player. As he'll check back in, as Asher will head to the bench for the time being. Kathy, in the meantime, picked up his 4th foul. Inside, $1:45. Drives picked up by Galuch. And they reset the offense with Kathy with 12 on the shot clock. Wittenberg looking for a stop. Shot clock down to 6. Drives, gets inside, pulls up on the inside, won't go. Kathy hauls in the miss. Kathy out to Golan. Golan for 3, and Golan does exactly what he's done all day long. 28 for Ben Golan. And the Tigers now trail by 3 with 70 seconds to play.
Yeah, Golan has been the workhorse for this Quakers team so far in this game. It's 28 points on the night now after that 3-point shot.
Killen's going to work, couldn't get it. And the rebound hauled down. And Wittenberg, they need to stop inside 60 seconds. Down the floor. And a whistle blown, timeout taken by the Wilmington Quakers. Seemed like a bit of a rush on the other side of the floor for the Wittenberg Tigers. And the Wilmington Quakers, they lead by 3 with possession of the ball. 50 seconds to play, Matt. Now you have the question, obviously too early to start fouling in this one, but if you're Wittenberg, when do you start fouling?
If you're Wittenberg, I'd say right around 30 seconds is when you want to start fouling. Obviously, the defense in that time, they can get a stop. The Quakers don't end up scoring. They take the time all the way down to as little as they can with the shot clock. They put it right at around 30 seconds left to go. But I think that's also why we saw this Quakers team take the timeout. They saw the rushed possession for the Tigers. They didn't want to rush a possession themselves. They wanted to slow the tempo down. The pass went more towards the inside, not around the perimeter to try to take time away. I think that's why we saw the Quakers take a timeout of their own. But I think if you're the Tigers right now, you see how this defensive possession plays out for the first 10 or so seconds. If Wilmington doesn't have anything, if they haven't put up a shot, I'd say let it play down to, like I said, right around 30 seconds. There's 51.1 to go. Shot clock would take it down to 29 seconds. That's still plenty of time, but then you got to start fouling after that.
Wittenberg, they need a stop. They trail by 3 with 50 seconds. As they get this one into Farley. Shot clock down at 20 seconds. Wittenberg, no need to foul at this current moment. But Wilmington will certainly try to run down the time. Here's Farley. Farley gets inside. Pump fakes, goes up. Farley banks it off the glass. It's good. Dominic Farley has 13, and here comes Wittenberg down by 5. 30 seconds to play. Killens draws the foul. That foul's going to go on Rashid Chisholm. And 2 shots at the free throw line coming up for Troy Killens. Trey Killens, I beg your pardon. Killens heading to the free throw line, a chance to make this a 1-score game once again.
And yeah, now on the defensive side, you're going to see the fouls start coming in for the Tigers. Got to try to give your offense as many opportunities as you can.
And Killens can't hit the first one. Killens, before that miss, was 4 for 5 at the free throw line. Couldn't get that one to go. 75-70. 27.4 seconds remaining in this one. And an important free throw coming up for Wittenberg. Killens missed the first one. Second one on its way, it's good. And Wittenberg's gonna go to a full court press. They get this one in pretty quickly to Farley. Leaves it up to Archum. Archum, foul called. It's a blocking foul against Eddie Brown. Only the 8th team foul going against the Tigers, so it's the 1-and-1 for Obed Archum. And if there is a player that you want to foul for Wilmington, it's certainly Obed Archum. Obed Archum, 50% free throw shooter on the season, his first trip to the free throw line tonight with 22.9 seconds remaining. Wittenberg down, but not quite out of it.
Tell you what, I did like that the Tigers tried to see what that full court press would do, but once it was broken, that's when you saw them decide to foul. Obviously, with a full court press, you increase your chances of turning the ball, of getting a turnover and getting the ball back into the hands of your offense. Once it was broken, that's when they decided to try to foul.
Archum misses. Killens with the rebound. Here comes Wittenberg. Killens attacking on the inside. He goes up. It's good. It's a 2-point game with 17.5 seconds remaining. Archum misses it short. Killens, coast to coast. He's got 20 points for Wittenberg. And this game has just gone a whole lot closer with 17 seconds to play.
I'll tell you what, Jackson, you talked about the player that you might want to send to the free throw line being Obed Archum. Showed why right there. Missed the first free throw since it was a 1-and-1, chance to rebound. And Killens pretty much takes it coast to coast, drives inside, finds a lane, gets himself up to 20 points in this game, cuts the deficit down to 2. I think right now, if you're the Tigers, you stick with that full court press, see if it forces a turnover. But if it doesn't force a turnover in the first 3 to 5 seconds, I think that's when you might want to start fouling.
Wittenberg, I expect them to be aggressive on the inbound as well. 2-point game, 75-73, 17.5 seconds remaining. Wittenberg still has one more foul to give before Wilmington will go to the double bonus. Wittenberg will inbound it, it's intercepted. Queen to Killens. Killens misses, it's up in the air. And a foul was called against Trey Killens. Wittenberg got the stop that they needed. Jeff Queen intercepted the pass. Killens just could not make the lay-in. That would have tied the game with 11 seconds. And a foul is called, 1-and-1 coming up for Wilmington.
That was the opportunity right there. That's why you play that full court press. That's why you play that aggressive style of defense. A rare, rare miss right there by Killens.
That'll send Jaden Lewis to the free throw line. First trip on the day for Jaden Lewis. He's 40% from the free throw line on the season, 2 for 5. First one on the way, it's good. And this one could pretty much put the icing on the cake. Both teams, 1 timeout remaining. Big free throw here to put it back up to a 2-score game for Wilmington, and an official timeout. And Wittenberg will burn that timeout to try to ice. I beg your pardon, that's Dominic Farley. Farley on the season. Perfect on the year when it comes to free throws. Actually, I beg your pardon, perfect coming into this game. As of right now, he's 2 for 4 in this game. Farley, a terrific free throw shooter for the Wilmington Quakers. And Matt, I'm sure that this is a player that Wittenberg does not want at the line for Wilmington to try to ice the game.
Yeah, not with how efficient he's been at the free throw line so far this season. Now the game plan for the Tigers, it's got to be make or miss here. You've got to push the ball down the floor. I wouldn't say if it's a made free throw, you do not need a 3. You just need a quick basket, and then you've got a foul. It's really your only chance right now.
We'll wait and see what Wittenberg draws up, but first off and foremost, they need Farley to miss. Farley in this one, he's got 14. He has come to life here in the second half. Farley only had 4 points in that first half. He's got 10 here in the second, a chance to make it 11, and a chance to ice the game for the Quakers. 76-73, 11 seconds to play. Wittenberg fans making some noise. Farley to possibly ice the game. It's on its way. It's no good. Wittenberg has it, and Killens is fouled. There was a foul called underneath, whether that was on Galuch or Killens. Wittenberg will have a chance to bring this one within one with 10 seconds. Killens at the free throw line. So Wittenberg still has life. Just as you mentioned, Matt, they don't need a 3 right away. They're going to have to settle with these 2 free throws.
Tell you what, though, I don't dislike the Quakers fouling right there, especially if they can get the ball back into the hands of Farley on the inbound pass. Makes it to where the Tigers can't tie it.
Killens, first shot on the way. It's no good. Killens, 5 for 8 at the free throw line. This one's very important. He'll throw it off the backboard. Killens tried to get it. It's going to be taken away by Wilmington and a whistle blown. And it'll be Wilmington basketball after a timeout taken by the Quakers. That's their final timeout. Wittenberg, multiple opportunities here in the final 10 to 15 seconds or so of this game. And Wittenberg, ultimately, still not out of it. They just will have to get another turnover on the inbound.
And yeah, I didn't like that, or it's not that, well, I say I didn't like it. I completely worded that wrong. I didn't hate that play right there by Killens, realizing down by 3, missed the first free throw. You got to try anything you can when you're down by 3 with 8.5 seconds now. It was 10 at the time, but 8.5 seconds left to go in this game. You really got to try anything you can to try to spark some life. The ball just didn't bounce off the rim the way Killens anticipated it. And the Quakers got the ball back. But now, if you're the Tigers, you've got to play super aggressive defense. And if you don't get a turnover, you've got to foul very quickly.
You get the sense that this foul from Wittenberg will put Wilmington in the double bonus, so it'll be 2 free throws nonetheless for the Quakers, no matter what happens on the first one. And all Wilmington will have to do is nail one of the 2 to pretty much end it. So Wittenberg's best opportunity here to get a turnover, as they will look to inbound it. Wittenberg almost got the turnover they needed. Stewart jumped the pass, just could not contain it before it went out of bounds. We'll do it again.
It's kind of aggressive defense you need to have right now.
Stewart tried everything he could. They'll do it again, this time into Farley, and Farley is fouled. And Dominic Farley will head to the free throw line with a chance to put the game on ice with 5.5 seconds to play.
Yeah, that was a great play design right there by the Quakers to get it into Farley, the player that you want to send to the free throw line, at least with how efficient he's been on the season. Obviously, 2 for 5 right now in this game. He's one of the more efficient free throw shooters for the Quakers on the year.
Farley at the free throw line. First one, it's in. And Farley with that free throw, what practically ended it. With 5.6 seconds, Wittenberg gave it their all. They had multiple opportunities to win this game, especially down the stretch. But Wilmington, unless anything crazy happens, will be the team coming out on top. Here's Killens for the final 5 seconds. Killens launches a trifecta. It's off the mark, and that's your final score. The Wilmington Quakers come in and will play spoiler to the Wittenberg Tigers home opener here at Pam Evans Smith Arena. And that will be their first win in program history against the Wittenberg Tigers. Now they will move the overall record to 1-9, still in favor of the Wittenberg Tigers. 78-73 your final score as the Quakers advance to 2-1, and the Tigers will fall to 2-1 as well.
Yeah, tough break for this Tigers team. It's really second half, the start of the second half for this Quakers team. They really started off well. They were able to shoot up the scoreboard, tie the game up, and then eventually take the lead with that 10-2 run. But it all comes down to that start of the second half for this Quakers team. They were on fire, 10-2 run to start it. It's really what gave them the push that they needed to come out on top today.
Once again, 78-73, your final score. The Wilmington Quakers, their first win over the Wittenberg Tigers in program history. Both teams now sit 2-1 on the season, and Wittenberg will be back in action this upcoming Friday night in the Great Lakes Classic. That'll be on the TKDS Sports Network. Leading scorers, Wittenberg, Trey Killens with 20 points, Daniel Asher with 20 points, Queen with 13, Eddie Brown with 12. And you turn the page for Wilmington, Golan with 28, Farley with 16, Archam with 13 as well.
And yeah, you really got to give props to Golan in this game. I mean, 28 points in this game tonight. That's efficient shooting the ball, especially with the fact that he was 12 of 13 from the field. You've got to give Golan props with what he was able to do in this game tonight. 28 points. He was 0 for 2 from the free throw line, but 8 rebounds. Like I said, 12 of 13 from the field. You got to give Golan props for what he was able to do on the floor tonight.
Wittenberg shot 46% from the field, whereas Wilmington shot 57% from the field. Wittenberg 44% three-pointers, 8 for 18. Quakers 6 for 13, 46% at the free throw line. Quakers, not a good night, 8 for 18 at the foul line, 44%. And Wittenberg 17 of 27, 63%. In the game that the Quakers turn over the ball 17 times, Wittenberg turned over the ball 16 times as well. Bench points, we saw 8 bench points for the Wittenberg Tigers, 12 coming from the Wilmington Quakers. 50 points in the paint for Wilmington compared to just 28 points in the paint for Wittenberg. And once again, your final score, Quakers 78, Wittenberg 73.
Yeah, and if there's one area of improvement that I think this Wittenberg Tigers team needs to try to focus on, allowing 50 points in the paint tonight and only getting 28 yourself. Obviously, it's tough to stop, especially when Wilmington's got the size that they've got underneath. It's tough to stop them every single time you can. But allowing 50 points in the paint to your 28, interior defense is going to be something that this Tigers team is going to want to try to improve on. And if they can, they're just going to get better and better as the season goes on.
And that'll take us to the end of our coverage here, powered by the Tiger Sports Network and the TKDS Sports Network. With our producer, Kevin Fowler, all of our friendly members from TKDS Sports Network, all of our friendly student cameramen as well, alongside Matthew Pennington, I'm Jackson Lycap. Tigers drop a close one, 78-73 against the Wilmington Quakers. They'll be back in action on Friday night, a perfect chance to Tiger up. Until then, good night.